Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Comes to you live from the comfy couch here on the Outskirts of the Internet. It's the Gaming Saloon Reviews for January 5th, 2025, with your host, Spacebreaker248 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hi.
We're back to Drive after like a month break for other stream purposes.
Yes.
Also, seeing the preview, you didn't give me the transitions, I think. You gave me all the overlay stuff, but you didn't give me the transition, so I don't have those.
Yeah, I definitely didn't.
But we're back with Drive, and we get... We're back with more Drive. We actually get the final form and stuff now. Hooray! Can I just say that I appreciate that we have a big boss gets beat by the final form and he just dies, and we get to move on to other villains.
No, he totally should just keep coming back for the rest of the show.
Like, I feel like I say that a lot every time we're visiting an older writer show. I'm like, oh my god, a villain dies and then stays fucking dead because we've ended the story involving them? Like, I think I saw it on Reddit. It was just like, well, after this point in the show, like, Tabari loses, like, any sort of character development. I'm like, well, the show transitions into, you know, being about a character that he does not personally attach to.
Yeah.
So I say that's fine. It kind of makes sense.
He kind of goes from being our focal point to being our audience stand-in.
Mm-hmm.
Which works. Just saying.
Yeah. Also, it's not like, you know, he hasn't had stuff throughout the entire show. Oh no, the last, like, what, 10 some odd episodes, he's just here to be the main writer and here to help. I say that's fine. But yeah, it is 33 through 36 this week. Any thoughts going into the episodes?
No. I mean, kind of nice to get back to Drive and, you know, actually getting to say the final form.
Yeah, honestly, it made me go, oh right, they do the pass back and forth more than just in, like, the first fight they do with this. Because I honestly was like, oh yeah, Kriem just takes the...
Yeah, that one thing,
like,
that happens on the debut kind of deal. Because that's what I was sitting there like, thinking, and then, yeah, same thing. I was like, wait, they did do that more than once.
Like, I know they do it for the movie, but it's for plot relevance that it's done in the movie.
And I know they barely do it. These might actually be the only 2 times we see it.
Yeah.
Because I know they barely do it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Because there's points story-wise where it could have worked.
Especially when, you know, Kriem can apparently, like, make a shield when he's in the driver's seat.
When he can completely go God mode, even though I swear the man, while he actually had a body, probably didn't do much fighting, if at all.
Yeah.
It's one of those, I think the reason they don't is because it kind of points to that, and it's like, yeah. He wasn't really a fighter before this. So...
Yeah,
It don't really make sense that he can just no-sell any fight that he goes into.
I always assumed it was just Krim is doing like the hard calculations and the predictions because he is smart, and he is doing counters because that feels like the difference between him and Tamari and how they're fighting with Trideron. And then Tamari kind of still fights the same way in terms of counters and stuff, so it blurs there, so it doesn't work.
That's why I'm like, it almost feels like they realized that would just be a no-sell OP kind of concept, and dipped out of it. But I kind of at the same time wish they'd committed a little harder to it.
Yeah. But yeah, shall we get into the recaps then?
Yeah.
All right, episode 33, Who Claimed the Life of Shinosuke Tamari? So we pick up with last week with the title card of Tamari being killed in action. Freeze is, all happy and stuff. Chase decides, fuck this bullshit, I'm killing you, and tries to kill Freeze. Doesn't happen. Poor Chase gets jobbed out for these 2 episodes.
But he jobs out like a champ.
Yes. Especially later when he's just like, well, I'm doing this hell or high water. But yeah, then Freeze, Brain, and Mock leave. They end up taking Tamari to the mortician. He is pronounced dead. They also note that they cannot remove the shift brace in the driver. And the captain's like, well, Chris Krim wanted to go out with him. Also, Kiriko is not...
That will be important for later.
Yep. We'll also note, Kiriko is not at the scene because she is at home, broken. Just in tears for like a day and a half, I think. And sitting at the same table the entire time. Like, she is devastated. Which, fair. Of course, now that I think about it, we never get his old partner's reaction to this entire situation.
I would normally be like, that's assuming that his old partner would know about it, but seeing as how it was on the literal news, yeah, that is kind of odd.
Yeah, they kind of broadcast the news as like, by the way, Tamari's dead, and I'm like, I am surprised we don't have a quick scene of where he sees this and is, likewise devastated because, oh shit, my best friend's dead. Oda, who is at the mortuary, to his credit, is like, I will take down Freeze myself, and I'm like, Oda, appreciate the sentiment. You ain't doing dick, sir.
I mean, maybe he could job out.
You have no belt at the moment because you technically get the June belt in the fucking stage show. Yeah. He also is Kamen Rider Oda in that one, I think. Or no, is it Kamen Rider Gen? I don't remember. They renamed it because he's the one using it instead of the captain. Really? The writer wiki doesn't list that? Because it's in the final stage show. I remember that because I have seen that final stage show. Oh, he is Kamen Rider Ginpachiro. I don't think he does anything in the final stage show, though.
He doesn't even job out.
No, I think he shows up like in the audience and like gets the audience to cheer on the writers, and then they kick ass. Because all the stage shows are kind of like plotted out the same, where you have the introductory part to the plot, the writers fighting some of the villains and stuff, introduction of whatever is exclusive for the villain, or whatever exclusive villain there is, the riders go on the back foot. The riders rally. At that point, you probably get a exclusive form for the main rider if they desire it, and the crowd is told to cheer for the riders. So the comeback happens, and then they kill everybody and they call it a day. That's like every final stage show, to be perfectly honest. There's not much difference to them when you break it down to that. Anywho, Chase picks up one of the D-memory freezing potions to go use on Go, because Chase is like, well, I like the Kiriko about Go. I'm gonna go fix that. Before this, Nira drops by the office and is like, what are we gonna do? And the captain's just like, well, Rina and Q were never officially on the force, so they're gone. Kiriko is just at home. Gin is busy with First Division, so there's no team left. And Nero's just like, well, we have to get somebody to replace Tamari. And he's like, if you weren't my superior in some capacity, I would slap the fucking shit out of you, because that is not happening. I think this is the first time we have seen him pissed. Yep. Justifiably so. Anyway, at the Romute's hideouts, Freeze is gloating about his victory. Hard is sad because, well, I lost my chance at getting my gold form because you took out the person who was going to get me to my gold form. Oh, well. And then Chase shows up and is going to spray Go. But Freeze breaks the bottle, so that doesn't happen. Again, Chase goes into the situation where there are, what is it? 5 people in here that could probably kick his ass, and they are all there at the same time. Going, I am going to go rescue Go, break the hold they have on him, and maybe figure out a way to get out of this alive. Or at least maybe me and Go can do something, even though he hates me. So props to Chase. But Go and Brain beat him up or Go and Freeze beat him up for a bit. Brain pulls out the tablet and goes like, aha, the thing I've been after, and steals the tablet and then runs off with Chase. As we'll soon find out, this tablet has Bono's brain in it, basically. And Go has taken it because he wants to get more data on the Roid mutants, basically.
If this sounds like a terrible plan, it is, and it will backfire.
Yes. Because Go very much is not thinking, because Go is thinking, oh, my dad won't betray me. That will never happen. Because he apparently does not have the full story on what the fuck happened. Because he says he does, and I'm like, no, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't be trusting him. But yeah, Chase does encourage Go to like not throw the tablet when Go was going to throw the tablet away, and be like, help, just do some good. Maybe we can solve this. Eventually, they land on the solution that Tamari is technically not dead. Krim has integrated the driver basically and himself into Tamari and is keeping him alive just barely. But with some calculations from Bono, they figure, okay, if we slam all the shift cars into the Trideron with this new shift car in the brace, which is the shift Trideron shift car, and go about, I think, what, 80 miles per hour? Or 80 kilometers per hour?
200 kilometers.
200 kilometers per hour. That will get the driver back working and will revive Tamari. They hope. And all credit to Chase, he's like, I'll drive because I are Roid Mute. I'll be fine if something bad happens. And Kiriko's like, no, my partner, I'm driving. And not a soul decides to argue with her at that point. So they go out to the shortest possible track to get this to 200 kilometers per hour, which honestly, I don't think there would be anywhere that they could possibly go to that would realistically let that car get to 200.
I don't know. It might could.
Because let me see. That is, it's 124 miles per hour. You could, I would say, if they could get this to a drag strip, that would work. But that would be a terrible fight scene after the fact. Since they are next to the bay somewhere for this. But yeah, they're set up to do this. Kiriko drives off with the Trideron. Freeze shows up because fuck you, I'm not letting you revive him. Chase steps in to try to fight him off. He stalls him for about 0.5 seconds. Before Freeze shoots the Trideron, it goes careening off the track and seemingly explodes. Except it's fine. And Tamari steps out. And we get a little scene of like Krim taking over to say hi to Kiriko as well.
I mean, to be fair, the Trideron only surface exploded.
Yeah. I do love Tamari's explanation of the two of us transformed temporarily to save Kiriko, and I'm like, that is not what that scene shows.
Nope.
Like, it feels like it implies that the two of them transformed into Trideron to save Kiriko, but like that's not how Trideron's transformation works. But anyway, Tamari and Krim go to type Trideron, which is our final form, and has the fancy special power of combining 3 shift cars that have some sort of association with each other into a new tire that Trideron uses. For this fight scene, we get Flare, Spike, and Shadow into attack 1, 2, 3. Basically, they just murder Freeze. He doesn't stand a chance. Even when he tries to do the attack that kills Tamari, Krim just takes over, makes a shield, and just punches him. And it's just like, yeah, Freeze, you're done. We are not taking prisoners today. You're dying. But I do appreciate that even though we reuse the formula cannon as the weapon for Trideron, we use it in a new way of slotting in one of the other shift cars, loading in the Trideron shift car in order to literally shoot the Trideron at someone to kill them. And Tamari technically technically downgrades into whatever form he puts into the top of the trailer.
Yep.
But yeah, I just appreciate that. To at least make the use of the formula cannon different, it's like, oh, now we can fire a like several ton car at our opponents to kill them. Cool.
And still never de-transform.
Yep. But yeah, they kill Freeze. Well, they send him into the water. He stays alive long enough to taunt them, like, you don't know the truth just yet. You won't win, and then explodes. And that takes us to the end of the episode, into episode 34, Who Claimed the Life of Eisuke Tamari. So we kick off with Tamari thinking about Freeze's words as a new case comes in, as Kiriko comes in with a new case. Basically, a forensics lab got robbed by a roid mute. They meet with a technician there and find out that their chief is missing, and he was looking into a case, and it turns out that case and the paper that they get off the like fused roid mute that they end up having to deal with later, both involve his dad's case, or his dad's death. So there is more to it. Brain also rescues the hybrid to like help. We also find out that because of Frieza's death, a lot of people are remembering things. They don't necessarily need the potion anymore. It'll just like expedite matters. And it seems like whatever thing is being hidden in the case, this is what we're dealing with. Nira's got a list of facilities that Freeze had, and Kiriko and Tamari head out to investigate them, specifically saying before they head out that they're checking the first one on the list. And when they get there to check it, Heart is there being like, hey, Tamari, you're alive again. Fight me so I can evolve. So the two will battle it out for a bit, and we find out that Medic gave Heart the same super dense slowdown that Chase had way back when, that I guess he technically doesn't have anymore, because maybe that would be useful.
Chase is a writer. Remember the whole thing that Tamari got on to go about?
Fair. I guess it helps that, well, actually, now that I think about it, Hearts is a lot more condensed than Chase's. Because Chase looks like he was able to like encompass an entire area. Hearts is basically like, I don't know, like a 6-foot radius. Like Hearts is like nowhere close to what Chase was able to accomplish. But Tamari fights him out for a bit. Chase shows up to handle Heart, who shows up. Chase also points out, we have better shit to do than deal with Heart. And Tamari's like, agreed. And then Chase tosses Brain into the bubble, so he slowly falls in it. Tamari like kicks Heart away, and then they all run off. Chase also asked them, is like, hey, has Go been around? And they're like, we haven't seen Go since you dealt with him. And he's like, okay. And of course Go's talking to Bono to try to get help because, yeah. At this point, Tamari's wondering how Heart knew exactly where to intercept them at, considering they had a full list of locations and they could have checked any one except the first one, and yet Heart was right there, and that just seems suspicious. So later they're like, they have a new batch of memory cures, and Nira ends up taking one. And as we cut to an unknown location with the captain, or with the forensics captain, our captain shows up there like, well, looks like our trap worked, because we find out that the guy with the roid mu that's fused is Nira, because Nira killed Tamari's dad, basically. Because he was jealous of Tamari's dad and was at the bank robbery and ended up shooting Tamari's dad because he just wanted him gone and got tired of just hearing his nonsense. Freeze covered it up, but only if Nira pretty much swore loyalty to him and kept the gun, which is what the forensics guy was looking for, was the gun. So Tamari goes try to run, beats up Nira in the roid mute. Brain tries to help, but Chase steps in to clear him out. They end up taking out the roid mute. At least they take out the fusion. But Brain like evolves the roid mute into a big CGI form, so Tamari has to deal with that. While Brain runs off with Nira, because Brain, in hearing all about why Nira like was jealous of what Tamari's dad had, figures out, this is my way to ultimate evolution, and fuses with Nira to revive that fused roid mute, and he gets his golden evolution. And we end off the episode there. So how do you feel about our first half?
I think, like we said yesterday, I thought this was earlier. For some weird reason.
I I thought the second half was earlier, actually. Because I completely disconnected the Nira being the reason for the hostage situation. Because I figured, like, oh, the hostage situation is some earlier thing of Brain trying to, like, flex how cool and amazing he is when he's not. And it blows up in his face, and it's like, oh, that is a later part.
I knew these two were together.
Mm-hmm.
I just, for some reason, thought this was before Freeze.
Yeah. But again, I appreciate that. We kill Freeze. He's gone. We are moving on to Nira, kind of taking central role as a villain, and he gets to go back to being the fucking scum he is. As we realize that him trying to be nice was basically him trying to hope nobody went looking deeper into the case and just assumed Freeze killed Tamari's dad and hope they didn't realize he was the one responsible. Because I assumed that was his plan. But now Nira takes the center stage for like 2 episodes, and then we'll be done with Nira. And again, with Nira gone, when we end this with Nira, he's gone for good. That's the last of him. Hooray. I like it when our villains die and stay fucking dead, and we get to move on. And we have other villains, and we get to do other things with characters. And instead of being stuck in an endless loop of, well, Volt's still here kicking around, even though we beat him again for what feels like should be a finale, but it's not. I don't know why I specifically want to mention a Volt out of anyone that could fall into.
I mean, you could have mentioned Gem Deus Machina there.
Him, Kronos. I don't know if Gemdeus counts because he was only around for like 3 episodes and then got murked by Kronos, so Kronos could continue to be the bad guy.
It counts because it's all just together.
Yeah. Oh god, who else? I'm trying to think of someone before that would count. I think it's just them, really.
I think so.
Because I was gonna say like Storius, but I'm like, no, Storius is only around for like the end of Saber, and that's like what, 5 episodes at best? Because otherwise he's just in the background being coy about shit. The only problem there is just like Storius just sucks as a villain. And Delius doesn't even fall in that. He just falls into the you just suck as a villain category instead of a you stick around too long category. Anywho, shall we hit the second half?
Yep, I guess we shall.
All right, episode 35. Why did the siege happen? So we start in media res as Tamari and Nira stare each other down in a darkened office for the SCU because a hostage situation is in place and police personnel are around outside, and we flash back to 20 hours before all this happened. So Nira has disappeared. They can't find him. Tamari is staking out the hospital where Yukari, the girl from that didn't have her memories altered from her dad's murder, is leaving now because she's cleared. Chase drops by with Mad Doctor because he's coming in prepared. Fair. Granted, if Tamari goes Trideron like he does, wouldn't that just pull Mad Doctor there anyway from wherever it is?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I think no, it's I think it's later in the episode. Yukari leaves, but then slowdown happens. The hybrid shows up. Tamari and Chase try to fight him, but it shows off the powers that Brains has, showing off his new fancy evolution and stuff. It ends up wrapping up Yukari as well, but Go drops by to help real quick before he fucks off. And Nero Brain are gone again. They have to track them down. Medic tries to like confront Brain later in a scene, and Brain like boasts his fancy powered up form, and it's just more angst between the three of them as Hart continues to look at these two people that don't want his affection, and Hart just goes, I have two hands, guys. Can we not? Can't we just get along? Hart is terrible at communicating with his partners about what he wants.
I mean, yeah, fair.
Later, Tamari's overlooking the city when the captain drops by to tell a story about him and his dad, and Tamari almost takes a photo away from him, from the two of them, and the captain's just like, no, that picture's mine. No, you get that back. You don't get to keep that one. You've got one of you and your dad. I need my one of me and your dad. As Chase is dropping off Yukari, because he escorted her home, he spots that she has some sort of like glowing thing on his arm, and he leaves his proto-speed shift guard to kind of keep an eye on her. Eventually, we see a press conference. Nero does a press conference with Brain disguised, and we see that the press conference is basically telling truths about how while Freeze was killed, Tamari is, I guess, a roid mute because all the other members of the team, or at least three of the members of the team, have some sort of association with roid mutes. Therefore, Tamari killed Freeze to take over the roid mutes. So they're arresting the SCU and Tamari. Some cops come in to try to arrest them. Tamari ends up escaping as everyone else holds the cops back, and they get locked up for the rest of these 2 episodes. They're just stuck there. And Tamari's on the run for like an entire day. Until Mira shows up and pulls Tamari to the office, where he plans to kill Tamari with the gun he killed his father with. And Brain is just like, hey, we've trapped you as well. Because he has the girl poisoned and on a timer that will kill her approximately when they are going to kill Tamari. Also, Chase gets like blown up by Hart real quick and kind of left laid out, and Go is just kind of, or Go ends up having to fight Hart later, which takes us episode 36. Where will the bullet guide justice? So Tamari gets everything laid out to him, so he's kind of stuck. The driver and all the shift cars get thrown in a bag, which I feel like shouldn't hold them. I feel like they are stronger than that, but I guess it's a really strong bag.
Yeah, that bag should not hold him.
Yeah. Go's having a rough time against Hart, even in his like powered up dead heat form. Hart is also after the tablet in this fight. Eventually, he knocks out Go, tries to get the tablet, but Bono kind of like paralyzes Hart's arm, and then him and Go fuck off. Chase manages to make it to Yukari as his shift card inform. He tries to use Mad Doctor. It doesn't work because it's too powerful. And Chase realizes, well, I gotta take her to Go because Bono will fix this, as much as I probably don't trust him either, because I assume Chase does not trust Bono one single bit.
Probably not.
Right. Granted, I'm not sure how much Chase knows about what Bono did, considering all his memory issues. But anywho, Brain is now outside the office, posing as the consultant person with 3 roid mates backing him up in just a tent, just watching everything about to happen. Nira is a scumbag and a half to Tamari, tries to goad him into a fight, or goad him into pulling his gun and trying to shoot at Nira, so can look like a convincing act of self-defense. Eventually, Tamari just fires a bullet, just kind of like gives up and fires a bullet. And then Nira shoots a bullet at him. And seemingly Tamari has been killed. But during it, there was a little outage of the camera Brain had in the office. And we find out later when Kiriko shows up at the press conference announcing that Tamari's dead, like, no, we pulled the fast one on you, because we find out that Tamari intercepted the bullet with Dimension Cap's help, because he pretty much co-talked Krim into sending him Dimension Cap. The girl was saved by Bono by basically digitizing her and reconstructing her without the virus stuff in her that Brain put in her, I guess. And Tamari found out about it because when the glitch happened that took out the footage, that was Go, Chase, and Yukari like phoning in to tell him she's okay. I do love that scene because she's happy. Go is like, hey, I did good. Chase looks over the Go, sees him doing a thumbs up, and then does a thumbs up awkwardly, like, is this how this works? Is this what you do in this situation? I don't know. And then Go looks back at Chase when he's doing it and is like, I still hate you. Perfectly encompassing their relationship.
Yep.
At that point, Tamari shows up because Brain has outed him as the one that poisoned Yukari, and then Nira outs himself as, oh, you're supposed to be dead because I shot you. Because Tamari has the bullet and it's just like, yeah, we matched this bullet to the bullet that killed my dad, and so we know the gun you used was used to kill my dad, and you basically confessed to that as well, so get fucked. And Nira's like, ah, shit, Brain, what do we do? And he's just like, we do the fusion dance and we try to kick their ass. And they have a whole bunch of roid to back them up, and that's not going to last very long because Chase and Go are also there, and all 3 of them get to transform together for the first time in this show.
Yeah, let that sink in.
Yeah. 36 episodes in, this is the first time all 3 of them transform together at the same time. Because for once, all 3 of them are on the same page. And by all 3 of them, I mean mainly Go's on the same page as the other 2. But they kick all the roid meats butts. Tamari would try her on. I think for this one, we get to see Goji Genper for the first time, which is Dump, Mixer, and Gravity. And I think in one of the previous episodes, I probably forgot to note it down, we see People Saver, which is Dr. Oh, what is it? It's Dr. Braver and something else. I forget what the third one is.
Wrecker, ain't it?
Rob, yeah, I think it's Wrecker.
No, Hunter.
It's Hunter, Dr. Braver. I was trying to remember how the wording is, because that's how I remember them, is how Krim says it when he announces them. Which, for those wondering, that is all the tire mix-ups we'll see for the rest of the series. We don't see any of the other tire mix-ups that are technically in the toy. Which, for reference,
we only see one other tire mix-up, and that's all of them. And then we also get Attack 1, 2, 3 another time.
Yeah.
But outside of that, yeah.
And I will say the all tire one is not programmed in the shift card. That is just them mucking with the sound effects to create something.
Which makes sense.
It is also just a white glowing version of the regular Trideron tire. But yeah, the ones we get to mix out on are American Dream, which is Vegas Cab Circus, because as you'll soon see, there's a very specific reason why we missed these. Weather Report, which is Solar Winter Commercial. Tough Guy, which is Monster Wrecker Traveler. And Grand Prix, which is Matan, Jackie, and Spawner. Now, if you notice, all the ones besides basically the Formula Trio are ones we've never seen the tire for. I don't think I've noted all of the different tire changes Tamari has had over the course when we've done the recaps, but we've never gotten Circus's tire. We've gotten Vegas and Cab. We've never gotten Commercial's tire. We've gotten no, we haven't gotten Solar's either. We've only gotten Winter. We've never gotten Solar's tire. So Solar Commercial, we've never gotten the tire for. And then we've never gotten the tire for Deco Traveler, but we have for Wrecker and Monster. Which I assume is the reason why they never did the tire mix-ups, because they technically didn't have the CGI model for those tires, and they didn't have an established power for that tire in show. They just have an established tire or established power for the shift car itself. The Grand Prix, I assume they didn't want to just reuse Formula power set, I guess. That's my only thought. I also assume no concept art for these have ever existed, since they're not on the wiki at all. Which is a shame, because I kind of would like to see some of them. But yeah, back in the episode, Nira and Brain go down. They blow up the fusion. Brain gets to run away right into Medic's arms, who gets to torture him for a bit. And once more, Hart does not communicate well with his partners. Nira gets taken away in cuffs, but continues to taunt Tamari, just like Freeze does, of like, oh, I wonder who will win between you and the Roidmutes. Bye! And that is it. How do you feel about the back end?
It felt good to kind of wrap all of this up with Tamari's dad. I kind of feel like I didn't care for the double kind of we're gonna let you figure out the answer, but we're not gonna let you figure out the answer kind of deal.
Yeah.
That whole double gotcha kind of deal, I was like, but it works.
Mm-hmm. I wish we had a better hint that like Nira was actually behind all of this.
Yeah.
If we had that early on, I think it would feel a lot more better together. Here, it just kind of feels like, oh, we seemingly solved it because presumably Freeze killed Tamari's dad. Except we soon find out that that's not the case. And it's like, okay, we didn't really have an establishment on that one. Also, this is like a, 8-episode story arc, basically?
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff all around for Drive. Next week, it's 37 through 40, because I had to double check and make sure, like, we're not doing Surprise Future just yet. We're still a episode out from doing Surprise Future. I also have to see if we technically get all of the, like, end of episode segments before then. Or if we're, like, just shy an episode on that.
We might get all of them.
We'll be shy one episode.
Huh. I would have figured it would have started already, but okay.
Yeah, there's four. The little mini previews is a 4-parter. The fourth one is at the end of episode 41.
That figures.
So we're just like one episode shy of technically where Surprise Future takes place, but technically those mini little episodes, the little mini series, is lying to you because it's all one big misdirect on like what's actually happening in Surprise Future. Because I assume the story being told is from the perspective of Edgy that we meet in Surprise Future, and that's a whole thing to talk about once we get to Surprise Future in a couple episodes. But I guess any other thoughts?
No.
All right, then. In 2 weeks, we'll be back with Drive. But between now and then, this Thursday, I'm hopefully wrapping up Valkyria Chronicles. I need to double check. I need to get back on Valkyria Chronicles, make sure I'm good level-wise and stuff going into it. I know I'm good equipment-wise because I've basically got all my equipment maxed out to where I max out as far as I can be going in. So I should be fine there. It's just hard levels to make sure I'm good, just stats-wise. Next Friday is an Archipelago, possibly?
Possibly. If not, it'll be more Ridercraft.
Saturday will be something.
Yeah. Probably depending on what Friday is.
And then next week will be maybe like a shorter TGS. It's hard to say, considering we're not too far away from our last TGS, so there might not be a super whole lot to talk about, especially because we're kind of in this. We're basically in the waiting period to the Switch 2 and also early in January, so there's not a whole lot of news to start with. So our biggest news will be whatever the Switch 2 Direct is.
And also not really shorter time frame.
Oh, okay.
Only shorter by 1 day.
Oh, okay.
But
Also,
yeah.
I just saw in a Discord that the Pokemon official Twitter account changed their banner to Pokemon ZA stuff. So apparently that's them prepping for Pokemon Day, or Pokemon Presents Pokemon Day, but that's in February. Because I was like, when is Pokemon Day? Oh, in the February. That helps us none. Absolutely does nothing for us until then. But that is the big head, folks. So if you like what you're seeing, drop a follow. Really appreciate shipping. Don't say that anymore because we don't even have that on screen anymore. Exclamation point Discord in chat will give you the Discord link, and exclamation point social in chat, which will give you the handles for all of our social medias. And we will see you Thursday, folks.